So, today we are heading over to Detroit and talking about some of the other prospects that we haven't had a chance to highlight yet this season. We have been talking about some of the more interesting and explosive names, I guess you can say. Max Plant is dominating college. You've got Eddie Genborg in Sweden doing some really great things. Obviously, the guys in Grand Rapids, like the goaltenders, for example, Sebastian Kosa, Michael Postava, lots of guys that are doing well, some more healthy than others, you can say. But the Detroit Red Wings do have some other netminders that are in the system and that are worth talking about. And I wanted to dive into two of them here in this video commentary. Let's go out there and actually showcase them on Streamlabs here. Starting out with Trey Augustine playing for Michigan State University in the NCAA. And I also wanted to go over a more underrated and potentially undervalued Red Wings goaltending prospect too. Let's also talk about Rudy Guimond in the Moncton Wildcats system in the QMJHL. Now, if you've been following the channel, you've probably seen at least some videos over the past few years. Once in a while, it's not like we'd talk about these guys all the time, but once in a while we'd discuss Guimond and or Trey Augustine. We also would talk about Kosa, who admittedly is doing very well this season, so obviously that progression is encouraging to see. But to help us out with what's going on with these guys, let's go over to an article published on Detroit Hockey Now yesterday by Kevin Allen. This is November 16th's version of The Daily, on how Trey Augustine has got value and it's got upward trajectory, and Rudy Guimond is still winning in the QMJHL. Now, let's go out there and just kind of go over the scoop here as published by Allen. Detroit Red Wings prospect Trey Augustine's goals against average falls, while his value rises as he continues to help Michigan State hold its #1 ranking in college hockey. The South Line product made 28 saves Saturday to help the Spartans drop Notre Dame 3-1 in South Bend, Indiana. That marks the 5th consecutive game that Augustine has surrendered 1 goal or no goals. He owns a .6 GAA in that streak. On Friday, Augustine was in the net for a 4-1 win against Notre Dame. And so, yeah, that's kind of the territory that Trey Augustine is in right here. I don't think the numbers need any more explaining, but we can repeat them. Let's just look at this one more time. The guy has a .6 goals against average in the last 5 games. And if you head over to his game log here on Elite Prospects, you will see that exact same thing. Take a look at this. So, Trey Augustine, he had 28 saves on 29 shots against Notre Dame on Saturday, 24 saves on 25 shots against Notre Dame on Friday, and then last weekend against Penn State, he had a shutout and a 25 shot against performance with 24 saves, .960 save percentage there. He is averaging well under a goal against a game if you look at these games here. And on the season as a whole, he's got a .132 save percentage in 9 games and a .948 save percentage. 8-1-0 is his record. He's got 3 shutouts. Michigan State is getting some of the best goaltending in the country out of Trey Augustine. And if you head over to the NCAA, you will see that, he actually doesn't have the games played to be the #1 guy. That's correct. Okay, let's just look at everybody here. So, Lawton Zacker's at a .943. Jacob Krebicek is at a .942. Montreal's Quentin Miller out of the Denver Pioneers system is at a .942 as well. But then you scroll down over here. Trent Burnham is at a 1. Mitchell Day is at 1. Ethan Dalmier is at 1. Emmett Croteau and Alexis Cornier are at .960 and .953. So look at that, eh? Montreal prospects are doing really, really well. We're not talking about those guys too much. But then you have Trey Augustine with his .948 in 9 games played. Obviously, goaltending is very difficult to fully track and analyze in the NCAA because you have so many guys that are older. Trey Augustine is 20 years old, and he's doing a lot for Michigan State University at this time of the year. But of course, he is not the only goaltender that we are focusing on in this video commentary. The article on Detroit Hockey Now goes out there and shows a little bit of a highlight for Trey Augustine. And then it says this. Now in his junior season, Augustine, who was the 41st overall pick in 2023, owns the same numbers that we had just looked at, 132 goals against and 948 save percentage. The Red Wings wanted to sign him last spring, but he opted to stay at Michigan State with the hope of leading the team to a national championship. In making that decision, he adds a layer of worry for Detroit fans who know that if Augustine decides to stay for his senior season, he could set himself up to become a UFA in August of 2027. The Detroit plan would be to sign Augustine as soon as his college season is over. The Wings want to give him pro experience as soon as possible because Cam Talbot is 38 and John Gibson is 32. This is Talbot's last season on his contract, and Gibson has 1 year left after this. Ideally, the Wings would like to see an NHL tandem of Sebastian Cossa and Augustine soon, although Michael Postava's arrival also offers a third possible candidate. Now, just based off of this article on Detroit Hockey Now, it doesn't seem like there are only 2 or 3 guys. There could be another name. And of course, you already know because we discussed him earlier in the video. We're also talking about Rudy Guimond. Take a look at this. Red Wings extra at the bottom. Goalie Rudy Guimond's numbers aren't quite as impressive as they were last season with the Moncton Wildcats, but he's having another impressive year in the QMJHL. He's 10-3-1 this season with a 2.39 goals against and a 9.16 save percentage in the offense first Q. Over 2 seasons in Moncton, Guimond is 26-3-1 with 5 shutouts, a 2.04 goals against, and a 9.29 save percentage. He'll be at Harvard next fall. That will give the Red Wings even more time to evaluate him before they have to make a decision. The Red Wings goalie pool is deeper than we see with other teams. And yes, that is the case here. Rudy Guimond's numbers have actually declined for the Moncton Wildcats in the QMJHL. Let's go out there and take a look at the profile. He's also 20 years old, and he also was a 2023 draftee, just like Trey Augustine, both taken by Detroit, of course. But Rudy Guimond last season was a monster. Unstoppable. 16-0-0 record, a 940 save percentage, and a 173 goals against in 16 games played. This year, he has really struggled to maintain those numbers. He's at a 916 and a 239 in 14 games. Still winning a lot, but then again, the numbers are worse compared to last season. Maybe it's not realistic to expect a guy in the QMJHL of all leagues to continue with a 940 level save percentage. I mean, just for curiosity's sake, let's take a look at who's dominating the Q save percentage wise. I mean, hey, Rudy Guimond is 4th overall, so you can't really complain too much about that. What happened last season? Was he number 1? He was number 2, behind that same Alexis Cornier. I guess we really need to make a video about this dude. Yeah, I know I was crapping on Montreal a little bit earlier because they ended up losing to the Saski Rough Riders in the Grey Cup, but yeah, no, this guy looks pretty legit. Anyways, back over to Rudy Guimond. He's been looking pretty good too. He's been winning a lot of games, some shutouts in there as well. I mean, he's not going Trey Augustine, where he's only allowing either 1 or 0 goals against. In these games, Guimond did have a 4-3 shootout win on Saturday against the Halifax Mooseheads, but he has gotten in there with some really solid shutout games, and ultimately, I think Red Wings fans should be excited for the future of what goaltending has in store for this organization. We can talk all the talk about John Gibson. We can talk about Cam Talbot and how these guys are good or bad or whatever, whether or not they're actually capable of being the goaltenders that Red Wings fans want them to be. But these prospects, the guys in the AHL and the guys in NCAA and QMJHL play, they're doing pretty well too. So with that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Trey Augustine and Rudy Guimond? This article by Kevin Allen will be linked in the description for your reading pleasure. Go out there and check it out on Detroit Hockey Now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on and bye.